Hey, it's 4:20 in the morning. I'm Kyle.
I'm Mike.
And I'm Erin.
And tonight on the Spooky Nerds podcast, Mike leaves cookies for the Great Pumpkin, who we know actually eats teeth.
Listen.
Hey, welcome back, everyone. Mike, Erin, happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween. That's my bad ghost voice.
Erin, your ghost voice?
I thought it was okay.
Really? Because you gave me a look like I should go kill myself.
That's just how I look at you, Mike.
Yeah, good point.
Well, I'm disappointed in both of you.
What else is new?
Shut up, Kyle.
Do you guys have any awesome Halloween plans?
It's a Tuesday, so no. And I'm an adult.
So no.
And I'm working, so no.
Cool, good, awesome. I like that.
It's 5 days after my birthday, so I assume just like come to work surrounded by my wonderful friends and enjoy the presents that I got.
Presents.
Yeah.
Just throw candy at you. How about that?
I'm gonna maintain my
it.
annual tradition of promising myself to watch a bunch of like classic horror films that I love, getting 30 minutes through Night of the Living Dead, and then passing out.
I thought you were going to say your annual tradition of saying you're going to throw a Halloween party and then not doing it, which you've done since I've known you.
I thought he was going to go some like more old man thing and chase kids away with a stick as they come to his house.
Yeah.
That's part of the party this year.
Party that's
There's
totally happening.
carving pumpkins, pin the tail on the donkey, hit kids with sticks.
Well, the theme this year is slow march towards death.
Oh,
So
This year.
this year.
that is my St. Patrick's Day theme as well.
Speed up that march with liquor.
Yeah. So, guys, I think no better time than Halloween to talk about hell, right?
Hey.
Yeah. Obviously.
More specifically, we're going to be talking about development hell today.
Hey.
Hey.
Thank you. I worked very hard on that. Well, for people that don't know, development hell is kind of the term for properties that get stuck during their production period for years at a time, and sometimes they just never, ever come out of it. I think we've each kind of selected a few things.
Yep.
So whoever wants to go
Our
first.
favorite sort of properties that have been stuck in development hell, whether they got out of it or not.
All right, so we'll just go around. Erin, if you want to start.
Okay. Motherfucking Reboot. The greatest TV show in the history of mankind. An okay TV show.
A TV show.
And it was one of those shows that, like, sort of had a slow, agonizing death, too. Because it was like, it went off the air but didn't get canceled. And then it came back, did a musical episode that summarized the entire series up into that point. And was like, that was supposed to be, like, the kickoff of, like, the finale season. And that, or like, I don't know, the sort of reboot season, reboot. Yeah, that's going to be unavoidable. I apologize.
Is that the one with like the weird green robot people?
Yeah, Enzo
They are
and
robots.
Bob.
They live in a computer. Yeah, their names are Bob, Enzo,
Sorry.
and Dot. And
Forgive
Andrea,
me.
who is a game sprite who escaped the game. Anyway,
Forgive me. I apologize
it was a
for
good
my
show.
lack
But it
of
was
knowledge.
like, then it had this season, it set up an entirely new villain that was like this huge big bad. And I think it had like 3 episodes and then just stopped, like got canceled. And then they're like, have been just for years like, we're going to bring it back, or we're going to do a movie, or we're going to continue, or we're going to wrap up the storyline somehow. And it's just never happened. And it's one of those properties that just like, I don't even remember what was happening, but I want to know what happened.
I remember so few things about Reboot. I remember Reboot being the thing in the way of Dragon Ball Z after school. Because I'd come home just with enough time
Oh,
to
you mean
watch
the great
that.
thing that you got to watch before it was ruined by DBZ?
I remember owning a megabyte and a hexadecimal action figure.
Oh, they were great. I loved hexadecimal.
They were cool. I liked hexadecimal. She has kind of a cool design. It's just kind of like creepy. I liked her. And I
She
remember...
also like got a weird like sympathetic redemption story
Did
in
she?
like the last season.
Oh,
yeah,
weird.
it was dumb.
And then I remember there being a pretty like Dead on Evil Dead 2 reference in one of the episodes.
Okay, I'm sure I didn't get it when I was
They
7.
go into one of the games, and it's like horror movie themed. And And one of the I can't remember. I think one of the people they fight there is like modeled after Bruce Campbell.
Oh yeah.
And it does the whole like Dead by Dawn thing, and he's like floating in the air.
Chainsaw Hand.
Maybe I can't really remember
I
it.
sort of remember what you're talking, like vaguely remember.
Yeah?
Yeah, like the horror game and the floating in the air. Yeah, it was a good show.
I have no idea what you guys are talking about.
I
know of the show, but I don't ever remember watching it.
So much of my like vernacular is like references to Reboot that no one gets other than like me and my sister.
So weird.
I've like stolen so many lines from that, but like
they've tried to bring Reboot back as a live action movie. I think we looked it up.
I don't know how that would. It's also one of those things that at this point it makes so little sense. Like because it was about. I mean, it was like every character in it was someone like living inside a computer. So they were all parts of the computer, but it was a computer from like 1998 or something. So like the big thing was like Bob was the guy who came rescued. He was like the defense system of the computer basically. And it was like, oh, he came over the web.
So what you're telling me is this was a lot like Tron.
Yeah, but
like not
better.
good.
Hey. I mean, like, yeah, it was like, oh, like, we're loading in a game, and these big cubes would come down. It would be like, it was just so, like, it doesn't make any sense, like, in today's world, any of the computer things that they had going on. But it's just one of those, like, unresolved things that I'm like, I really want closure on that series.
Was the big threat the Y2K bug?
I think it was viruses, actually.
Of course.
It was like viruses coming over the internet and stuff. And hexadecimal was a virus. Hexadecimal and megabyte, I think, were both viruses.
I think so.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if they brought that back now, just like all the different characters they would have to have?
It would probably be like disturbingly similar to the Emoji Movie, unfortunately.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
I don't even want to bring
Just
that
like
up.
all the characters are now emojis.
I know this is a
Ugh.
Halloween episode, but can we not bring up actual
Like
real
disgusting,
life,
horrible things.
Yeah,
Scary
real life,
things.
terrible things.
Anyway, although I know it wouldn't work, my heart still longs for a reboot, some kind of.
A reboot?
Yeah, again, I apologize. But
couldn't
yeah, like
resist.
a movie or just something that would wrap it up.
Actually, if you don't mind, I'm going to kind of segue into mine because it kind of ties in. We just mentioned it. Tron 3.
Yeah, I had that on my list as
Did
well. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm super bummed. I love the original Tron. I'm well aware of how it's aged. I still like the movie. I think it looks cool. I still think it has a really cool aesthetic
Yeah.
look to it. I really liked the second Tron.
Yeah, so did I.
I thought it was really cool. I loved it in theaters. I thought it was one of the few movies I enjoyed in 3D. I thought it added to the world. CG Jeff Bridges was a little weird. A little creepy, Uncanny Valley.
It was, but it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be when I first heard about it.
It was a little unsettling.
Yeah.
I feel like young Kurt Russell in Guardians of the Galaxy 2 is slightly more unsettling.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. It still looks good, but like it's because I know what like young Kurt Russell looks like, and it's not that.
But you know what?
That just looks like smooth old Kurt Russell.
But the young Michael Douglas in Ant-Man looked really
looked
good.
great.
So like that's the best one so far.
I was gonna say, like, I thought the young Tony Stark in Civil War.
That also
Yeah.
looked good.
Yeah, it
also
looked like
looked good.
weirdly good.
Oh, God,
I'm
we're
like, maybe
sidetracking.
because
we're
young Tony Stark
sidetracking.
was like
But-
also on camera so
But
much.
I think the Jeff Bridges one in Tron Legacy was one of the first
It was.
times
It
they
was
attempted
good in
that.
there. It was good. It was
Yeah.
good but unsettling. But no, I liked it a lot. I liked the like Daft Punk soundtrack. I like them. And Disney made a huge fucking push for that movie.
Yeah.
Like Tron was everywhere when that came
Yeah.
out. They redid the what's it called? The monorail at Disney to be the light cycles, and
Yeah.
there's a light cycle ride in Japan.
And they're doing the light cycle roller coaster here
Thank God.
at Orlando soon.
yeah.
So did it not do well at the box office?
I think it did well.
Because I felt like
It did
they
okay.
definitely promoted the hell out of it. I didn't feel like it was a bomb. Like I didn't feel like it came out, and I heard mixed things when it came out.
It was weird because it was paced like the original Tron, and movies aren't paced that way anymore. Like it had really kind of like wide areas of just people talking,
Yeah.
and you can't make a kids movie like that anymore.
Yeah.
And I felt like Disney was trying to make a kids film with like action and crazy shit going on, but they're also trying to respect the original Tron and making a movie for really the only people that cared this new one was coming out, which was like old school Tron fans.
Yeah.
So it was this weird
It's
place
like
that it was.
market split.
And there was a cartoon that came out. Yeah.
Like a series?
Yeah, it was with totally different characters.
Yeah, I think Elijah Wood was the voice.
Yeah, he voiced the main. I think it either took place before Legacy or after. I think it was before.
Was it like a series?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like one of those weird like CG, kind of like the Green Lantern
like Disney
CG
XD
cartoon
series. Yeah.
I was like never aware of that.
Yeah,
I hadn't heard of it.
I think it led up to the events of Legacy, or maybe it was like right before.
I feel like I watched
Clue took
one
over.
episode and I just I'm not big into cartoons on movie. I don't know. But no, I really wanted a third Tron.
Yeah.
They keep saying it's gonna happen, but who's the fucking guy in the movie? Who's the main character? What's that actor?
I forgot his name.
Garrett
Edlund? Is that his name?
maybe? Something like that. Like he's where the fuck's he? What's he doing? Besides Tron 3.
What has he done before or since?
Yeah.
Before he did a lot.
He's
Did that tank his career?
Before Tron, since Tron, he's been in Pan, Unbroken.
So a lot of arguably worse movies.
He's done some stuff. Nothing
Aragon.
nothing big.
That's rough.
I feel like he was like right
He
in
was in Troy.
He was like on that cusp of actors that they were really trying to make leading men.
Yeah.
So like Sam Worthington, Jai Courtney, Taylor Kitsch, or however the fuck you say his name, and then Garrett Hedlund.
Yeah. They were just like throwing a bunch of like good-looking white guys at a screen, seeing what stuck.
Yeah.
Turns out none of them.
Jai Courtney.
What is it with you and Jai Courtney? I feel like you hate him enough that it's like about to swing around the other way, and you like secretly fantasize about Jai Courtney.
That's neither here nor there. We could do a whole episode on like my
Hatred of Jai Courtney?
I fucking hate that
Really?
guy. I do.
Why?
He's just awful.
Can he be any more specific?
No.
I mean,
I hate him with his rippling muscles and his eyes you just get lost in for hours.
Good Day to Die Hard. That
Yeah.
Terminator movie he was in. Was it Salvation?
Yeah.
I haven't seen it.
It wasn't good.
Suicide Squad.
Was Terminator Salvation was one with Emilia Clarke, right? The
And
most
Christian
recent
Bale.
one?
No, that was Genesis with a Y.
Oh. He was in the one with Christian Bale?
Yeah.
I don't remember
He
him
was-
there
he was
at
the
all.
No,
main-
Sam Worthington was in that.
Yeah,
was
Was
it?
Jai Courtney also in that? No, Jai Courtney's in Genesis. They both suck.
I was.
Who did he
confusing
play in
Jai
Genesis? Did he play...
Genesis, was he Kyle Reese?
I think he might have been... I don't fucking know. I don't care.
He might have been Kyle Reese. I'm not sure.
All I know is that movie spoiled the big twist in the fucking trailers, and I didn't
I
even
hate
bother
that.
seeing it after that.
I didn't see it.
So yeah, Tron 3.
So what are you looking forward to about this? Do you think Jai Courtney would be in it?
I hope not.
I'm just...
I like the Tron world. I feel there's like more to offer for it. I like the way the second one is shot. Like it's a cool looking movie. I like the soundtrack to it. I want to see more in that universe, and I just don't think it's gonna happen.
Well, the whole... like, the way that they ended it, it was a very weird place. Because, like, after...
because he escaped with what's her face?
Yeah, he
Cora or
brought her
whatever.
out of the computer program, and they like destroyed Clue, which like in turn kind of destroyed the whole grid.
Yeah.
So like there was talk like after it came out, there was like, oh yeah, so in Tron 3 there'll be scenes where Cora's like learning how to interact in the real world, and there was like, oh, there's gonna be a scene where she's like talking to like a microwave. And
Oh, that
it's
sounds
like,
awful.
I'm like, that's
The more
kinda,
the more you talk, the happier I am that Tron 3 isn't
yeah.
happening.
And I was like, that like.
Wasn't that a like a Kellyanne Conway thing? She like
Oh, the
yeah, like the
recording
microwaves are
Anyway,
recording us.
yeah.
And-
Anyway, like
so they didn't make Tron 3 because it became real life.
no, like the way they made it sound was like they were gonna kind of make her like Wonder Woman, where she was like in the human world now and trying to like she's had this like naive approach to everything, but. Like I said, you know, they basically destroyed the grid. They can't go
But I feel
back
like-
there. Like, it was just very weird. Like, it ended in such a weird
Yeah.
way that it set up a sequel, but also destroyed any
It
chances
sucks
of it at
'cause
the same
Tron
time.
3 can be so relevant now with like the rise of like VR
Yeah.
and like cell phone gaming and just I don't know all these advancements we made. I feel like Tron.
Try and reboot crossover.
With Tron.
Tron boot.
Oh.
Yeah.
Tron boot.
Retron.
Tron.
With Nick Offerman.
Mike, what do you got?
So the first one I put on my list was the Halo movie.
Ooh.
Oh.
That fucking thing.
Do you think now that District 9 isn't getting a sequel, it'll like somehow cycle back around and he'll direct
Probably
a Halo
not.
movie? Oh.
Microsoft's weird about that.
You know what? I think it's too late at this point. I think the buzz for Halo is gone.
Yeah.
I agree.
There
was like a very clear like peak time when that could have come out.
Like
and
right
it
around
just,
Halo
like-
3 is when they should have done it.
Yeah, I mean when there was all the buzz and it was like,
Yeah, so Halo 3.
yeah, yes, I'm agreeing with you.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
They
Like-
did a live action
Right, like
web
the commercials.
series, right?
They've
or-
done- yeah, they've
Forward Unto
done-
Dawn or whatever it's called.
They've done a
yeah.
couple. They've done there was the Forward Unto Dawn, which was pretty cool.
That was one
Which
with
is
Mike Coulter, right?
No, that was I forgot the name of it, but that was like before Halo 5.
Okay.
I think it was. No, it wasn't. Hold on, let me bang it.
Okay.
That was Halo Nightfall,
Oh, okay.
which was. It was like a little web series that set up Halo 5,
Okay.
and
Is that really for Halo 5?
Yeah.
Jeez,
It took
feels
place in the
essential.
same world, but it had nothing to do with Halo. Like the Covenant were there, and he was a soldier in the UNSC,
And like that was it.
and he survived something and like some big ordeal, and that's how he became a Spartan in Halo 5. Whereas Forward Unto Dawn took place before Halo 1, and it was like right as the Spartans were being like commissioned. So like they had just came in, and I think it was like the lead up to the attack on Reach,
Okay.
which was basically Halo, which was the Halo Reach game. So, but like,
I appreciate the hell out of all his Halo backstory. I've played the first Halo once in 7th grade, told my friend I thought it was just okay, and was kicked out of his house at 9 p.m.
That was an appropriate response to that comment.
Was it?
Yeah.
but yeah, that movie has just been such a nightmare.
I remember it was supposed to be a Neil Blomkamp film.
Yeah.
That's how he got District 9, because I
Right.
think Peter
Yeah.
Jackson was impressed with the live-action trailers, or the live-action commercials he
Because
did.
he'd done
That's what I was
it was
thinking.
for Halo 3, the live action shorts that they did
Was it-
to promote the game.
Was it Halo 3 or was it Reach?
It was 3.
Oh, okay.
Because like that's when they
was a very
started
long
doing
time.
like heavy advertisement on like TV and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
So
But
yeah,
that's that time I'm thinking of where it was like he was sort of semi-attached and everyone
Yeah.
was like really hyped for it, and then it just like fell apart and
it's
he
because
did District
he
9
directed
and-
those short commercials, and Microsoft was really impressed, and they were going to give it to him, and then it's like, I guess something happened and they pulled back, and
I think they got like nervous with the property, like they didn't want to give it to an unknown, maybe. Or,
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
They're
I
just
think Microsoft thought they could have gotten like Steven Spielberg to come in and do it instead.
I think they were just super protective of it because it was like their flagship at the time. Like,
Yeah.
they didn't really have.
Yeah, they didn't have a lot else to like fall back
I
on.
think like Gears of War was just starting to gain traction for them, and like they didn't really have any other.
Man, that's
big,
another
like,
that's
games.
another development hell thing. The Gears of War. That was supposed to be the fucking Underworld director directing that, I think.
Was it?
Yeah.
Gross.
Ugh.
But yeah.
What would you actually want to see, like if a Halo movie did get made at this point or back then? Like what would you want to see, like plot wise? Because I feel like it is like all those short films. I sort of get it, but also I don't. They're like, oh, we're like not gonna have Master Chief in there.
Well,
I like Halo.
I wanna
Master Chief is cool.
I want them to do Origin. Like I want to see how like I know how the Spartan program was created because I've read the books because I'm a huge nerd. But a lot of people don't know that realistically Master Chief is only like 18, 19, 20 years old.
Yeah.
When you see him in the first game, like he's still a kid because he was taken as a child.
Right.
Like he was taken from his home when he was like 10, trained, experimented on, put all these cybernetic enhancements and growth hormones.
Yeah, so like a backstory character study kind of Master Chief. That'd be good.
And then when like I said, when you see him in Halo 1, he's like in his 20s.
Yeah.
Like in
It would be nice if there was ever a good video game movie adaptation.
there's
What are you talking
Ever.
about?
No.
Super Mario Brothers.
No!
anyway. No, there's a scene in Forward Unto Dawn at the very end when like the only couple survivors from like the academy that got glassed by the Covenant are like cadets, so they're kids, and they're rescued by Master Chief and 2 other Spartans, and the 2 other Spartans take their helmets off, and the cadets are like, "How old are you guys?" Because they look. Like their facial features are like they still look like kids, and the cadets are like, we just got saved by people that are probably younger than us. What the fuck is going on here?
Yeah.
But and like that's the stuff that people don't really know about.
That'd be cool. Like serious war film,
Yeah,
Yeah.
like Platoon style.
and
but
it would be
Thinking
so
that, could we get Willem Dafoe?
it would
forget
be
Charlie Sheen.
No.
it would be so easy to do because like that prequel stuff, they weren't fighting the aliens. Like at that point, it was just human on human violence. Like you don't have to worry about crazy CGI. Just just do it. Do it, Microsoft. Give me Halo.
Do it.
All right, what do you got next, Erin?
Are we back to me?
Yeah.
Yep.
Moon Knight. And if you say, they're going to make one, you've been saying that as long as I've known you, as long as you've been promising to throw a Halloween party.
Yeah.
They've been like, oh, we're going to make a Moon Knight series. Oh, we're going to make a Moon Knight movie. Oh, we're going to put it on Netflix. We're going to do a movie on Netflix. And it's just...
I
just wonder if
it's all speculation.
Yeah, I wonder if we could
It
like
is.
consider it development hell if it's like only been rumored to be considered. Could it be considered development hell?
It's like
Yes.
rumored Blade reboot. And like, if you're looking for a superhero movie in development hell, Erin,
I'm not. I want Moon Knight.
Gambit.
Can we
feel
please
like-
go back to talking about Moon Knight, please?
I feel like the Gambit thing is weird because it got that, like, in that terrible, what was the one he was in for 2 minutes?
No. That doesn't count.
Right, no, it doesn't. Yeah, but it's like he shows up and then he was in it for all of 5 minutes. He didn't do anything.
Taylor Kitsch, man.
Yeah.
Oh, was that him?
Yeah.
It was
no,
just
like-
like they promoted it like, oh, he's gonna be in it, and then he wasn't, and so it was like, was that it? Did we get Gambit in the movie?
It's supposed to be
No.
Channing Tatum now.
Really?
Yeah. But like the actual Gambit movie is just hitting brick
It
wall after brick wall after
Will
brick
never
Yeah.
wall.
fucking happen. Quote me. Quote me on this day.
You
Mark
just
the
want
time.
it not to happen.
What would it be about? Like, remember all those classic Gambit bad guys?
Yeah, well, here's the thing. Channing Tatum is cast, so they rewrite his backstory that he is a down-on-his-luck stripper. And he meets a young southern ingenue.
That's how they could explain the trench coat. He's just a pervert.
Mon ami.
What other use could those gloves possibly have?
There is one good Gambit story that could be adapted into a good film, and that is Ultimate Gambit. I think it was like either Ultimate X-Men Annual 1 or 2, and it's just Gambit saving this girl. It's Hammerhead was the bad guy in the comic, the mobster. And it was like this little girl was kidnapped by him, or her parents were murdered by him and his gangsters. And it was like Gambit and this little girl that he saved, like against like the mob essentially. And it was good.
That sounds like a great, like a Logan-esque
It was
movie.
good. It was really cool.
That
But
sounds just like Logan.
Yeah.
Actually.
no, it was cool. I
But
enjoyed it.
mobsters this time
Yeah.
instead of government agency.
I don't know. It's just so bizarre. Like, Gambit's a cool character, but not by himself.
Yeah, you say like what Gambit villains are there? It's like, well, any X-Men villain. I would want him
Mr.
as part of
Sinister,
a
I guess.
team.
Nah.
Yeah, I don't need a Gambit solo movie. I need a Gambit X-Men movie.
Just make an X-Force film. Well, they are making an X-Force film, but he's not on it.
It's probably for the best.
I think they've melded the X-Force film just into Deadpool 2. There's
Yeah.
like Domino's in there and Cable's in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like any like X-Men related, energy or ideas they have are now just going to be funneled into Deadpool stuff.
Probably. Well, they have the New Mutants movie, and I don't think that has anything to do with Deadpool.
I don't know. Other than the fact that they're taking... Is Negasonic in that?
No, they're not putting her in. Even though she had the uniform in Deadpool.
I thought they said they were going to.
No, if they do, it'd be cool. I like all the other people, and like, fucking what's her face, Magic is in there, and Wolfbane, and Cannonball,
I could have swore I heard.
and they're gonna fight Demon Bear. Demon Bear's the bad guy,
God damn it!
and I'm pretty
Fox.
sure it's directed by the guy that did Fault in Our Stars.
Ugh.
God damn it,
I
Fox!
I feel like at this point, Like, they haven't set a date or anything for that, have they?
For what?
X4 or
New Mutants?
New Mutants, yeah.
I don't think
It's
so.
supposed to be
have
next
they?
year.
Is it?
Is it?
There's 3 X-Men movies next year.
Have they even started filming?
Nope.
I feel like any X-Men movie goes through so many iterations before it gets to the screen. Like, that's what happened with the Wolverine origins. That's what happens with like anything. It's like, oh, it's gonna be this storyline. No, it's gonna be this. No, this character's gonna be in it. No, this character's gonna be in it. And like, it just like is such a crazy, tortuous route to what they actually end up releasing. It's like there's no point in even speculating or saying, no, they said they're going to do this. Even it's like there was a press release today, they say this. It's like, okay, well, that means nothing because it's still however many months until it gets released. So, I mean, maybe that will just turn into a Gambit solo film. Who knows?
Have they even started filming the Dark Phoenix movie? Because that comes out next year too, right?
I don't think so.
Who wants that?
Nobody.
Like, yeah.
No one.
Can we please get back to Moon Knight?
Yeah, I think they should make it. I agree with you.
Thank you.
It should be a Netflix series. Rami Malek should play Moon Knight.
Totally okay with that.
I can see
yeah.
that.
No.
That'd be fucking awesome. He's great.
He needs to get ripped, but other than
He's
that,
playing
I'm
Freddie
not
Mercury right now.
Did you see that
I
picture?
saw that.
Did you see the picture of him?
It's like if Rami Malek was just cast as like all my favorite characters and people, I would be totally okay with that for the rest of eternity.
He's great.
Yeah, but I mean, it is just one of those. It's just been a rumor, and it's been a rumor in every possible form. And I think you've said it before, Kyle. Like, he's the most popular, unpopular character.
Yeah.
It's like he has just not quite enough of a following to get any momentum behind anything.
But you know what? I'd rather that be just a rumor than stuck in development hell. Because I think things have
what's
a better
the difference?
I think things have a better chance when they're rumors than they do of being in. If you get stuck, like Gambit, for example, that's been stuck in development hell for so
Inhumans.
long, and yeah, like those are actually in the process of being made, but there's so many heads butting together.
Yeah, I mean,
that, like, it's not going to come out.
I feel like it depends on what stage of development hell, because there can be like, oh, there's a studio attached, but it can't move forward. You know, even if there's like 1,000 people who are like, I will pay out of pocket to make this movie. Oh no, it's attached to the studio, so you can't. You know,
Yeah.
or if it's just like, oh, we wrote a script and then nothing ever happened. Like that's a little easier to get out of. You know, like it's still not easy, but it could be like, oh well, someone could pick it up tomorrow and decide to do it.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I just want Moon Knight.
I don't know. Yeah, like I said, I just think something that's in development hell has a better, or that's just a rumor has a better chance than something in
Do you
development
remember
hell.
the live-action Blade TV series?
No.
Is that a thing that existed?
It was.
Was Wesley Snipes?
It starred the rapper Sticky Fingers. And they actually mention
Fucking with me right now.
because there's like I think there's a werewolf in one episode, and they mention Mark Spector by name as like, oh, I know a guy that could handle werewolves, and he was supposed to be in season 2, and then that show got fucking canceled.
Was it for the best stuff?
Yep.
I don't blame them for canceling that show. That sounds like exactly as annoying as like all the Ted Cord or Cord Industries mentions and the current
Don't
CW shows.
get me started on that shit.
Yeah.
Ray Palmer in that show is supposed to be Ted Cord. Couldn't use him.
Kyle,
Fuck that show. Because
stop
apparently they're doing something with it.
that rant by giving us your next idea.
My next idea is Dread 2.
I had that on my list as well. Kyle and I are in the same mindset.
Do you want me to switch so you can do Dread
No,
2?
no.
Or do you have to- Okay.
Go for it. I have something else on there.
Dread, the first Dread, is a better than it deserves to be action film. I fucking love that movie, and I thought it was going to be trash. I avoided it in theaters because I don't want to say I ironically like Judge Dredd with Sylvester Stallone. It's a like quantifiably bad movie. I enjoy it because it's bad and it's fun to watch, and I'm not really familiar with Judge Dredd the character himself. I've never really read any of the comics. I've only read a few of them. But Dredd is really good for an action film that,
Yeah.
I mean, it's most comic book superhero action films are end of the world type deals. And I liked Dredd just being a contained to like, it's in like a apartment complex.
Yeah.
Peach Trees, I think it's called. And it's just a contained movie. It's like a procedural, like, oh, Dredd just happened upon a bad situation. He's dealing with it. That's the movie. There's no end of the world plot. There's no we're going to blow up the city plot. He just runs into like a drug dealer.
Yeah.
And it was a really solid action film. I think it borrowed heavily from The Raid. Or just Raid, rather. Borrowed heavily from that film. But it was still good. And I don't really think it did that great in theaters, but I know on video it did great.
Yeah.
I remember like when I worked at a video store, and we sold out of that movie constantly because they only ever shipped us like 8 at a time, and we all bought it, and then we'd recommend it to everyone that we knew. But it was a really good movie, and again, I don't like 3D, but another movie that utilized 3D really well.
I felt like I'm surprised that hasn't gotten a sequel because I feel like it was more of a success than they expected it to be.
Yeah, and I think it was cheaply made, too.
Yeah, it was one of those like, oh, well, like, we don't really know how many people are going to see this. We're not going to, throw that much into marketing it or anything. It's not going to be the next big thing. But then it came out and people were like, it's actually surprisingly fun and good. Yeah, so it is like those kind of things usually get like, oh, well, like, let's capitalize on this while the buzz is, up.
I want to see more in that world because, like in the first movie, it doesn't have to be there doesn't have to be like an overarching plot between movies. Just show Dredd doing what he does day to day. Like, give him a new rookie to deal with every movie.
Yeah.
Like Judge Anderson was cool. I like her. I'd like to see her come back, but they don't need to go crazy with like continuity and like all this shit coming back. Just have Dredd. Okay, here's another day just out in Mega City. You know what I mean? I want to say that. I know there's a rumors of a TV series coming up based on Dredd.
I thought they were doing a sequel. I know it's development hell, but I know last I saw Carl Urban was really pushing for a sequel.
He was. Now they're pushing for a TV series, and he said if he has the time for it and if the script is good, he'll come back for it, which translates into if we're not doing Star Trek 4 and they want to pay me a lot, I'll come back and do it. They did a weird web series that was animated with Judge Death.
Oh, like
It was weird, and supposedly it took place in the world of the movie. I don't know if I ever want to see that happen. Like, there's a case where it's stuck in development hell, and I think the ideas for it might be better than any product we actually get, because Judge Dredd has so much weird shit in the comics, and I like that aspect of him. But I don't know if I'd want to see that in a movie. Like, I don't know if I'd like to see Dredd and then Dredd 2 go into, like, Judge Death and, like, mutants and shit like that. On one hand, it'd be kind of cool, but I like the weird, like, realistic sci-fi approach they took. I mean, even though they had a psychic.
Yeah, they kind of touched on the mutant thing a little bit, but, like, not over the top.
Yeah. So. But I want to see it. I don't think it'll ever happen.
Yeah.
But
that's sort of everything we're bringing up.
Yeah.
So, Mike.
Well, we kind of already talked about it when we talked about the Halo movie, but the Gears of War movie. Like, like that's another, again, Microsoft flagship game title that everybody wants a movie for because it's a really cool idea.
It's a good story, and it's weird. Gears of War came at that time where Microsoft was like, they were really just tailor-making games into movies. Like, the games were becoming more cinematic, had deeper stories. They were hiring, like, really good, like, voice talent to do it. They were hiring, like, actual composers to come in and make scores for the movie, like, the movie games. Yeah, why isn't it not a movie? That's strange.
And again, just like Halo, it's got the way the first game starts, like, you're already in the middle of this conflict. It sets up perfectly for, like, a prequel movie. Like, oh, okay, so what happened on Emergence Day? Like, you don't see that until a tiny piece of the fourth game. Like, there's when the whole, like, the Locust emerge from the ground, like, and start sinking cities and attacking people. Like, you don't really see that. That would be awesome to see as a movie. Like, there's so much cool stuff within that world that they could touch on, and they just don't.
They really have so much material. Like,
I guess the biggest problem, and I've talked about this with my brother, my brother's a big Gears of War fan. It's like, who would you get to play those giant, massive hulking guys? Like, it's
John Cena.
It's like, I don't even think John Cena.
The guy who plays the Mountain in Game of Thrones.
Yeah,
he might be the only man big enough.
Yeah, he just plays every character.
They just CG swap his face with like. Scrawny like Paul Dano, Jay Baruchel.
Jay Baruchel and Paul Dano cannot be in everything, Kyle.
Why not?
They fucking can, and they will.
Can't and they shouldn't.
That's my Halloween wish.
Go find a great pumpkin and stop talking about Jay Baruchel.
But yeah, there's just with Gears of War, and there are so many other video games that have been in development hell movie-wise for so long. Like Assassin's Creed,
Ugh.
even though we just got the movie with Michael Fassbender, which I kind of enjoyed.
Did you?
Yeah, but it's not the Assassin's Creed movie I wanted.
Yeah.
I wanted the Assassin's Creed movie with the character I played 5 games about.
Right. Well, that's what I
Like, I
heard
would have
about
liked
it.
to
I never
see
saw it.
Desmond from the first 4 games. And instead I got Michael Fassbender as some character I don't even remember his name for. But it was a cool movie. Like, the way that they did it, it felt very much like the games.
I wonder when there will be like a really like breakout video game movie.
Tomb Raider.
They made one.
They made one.
God damn
well,
it.
they made no, first of all, and they made comic book movies that were successful before the whole MCU kickoff and
The first
and
Blade was
Dark Knight
successful, and Superman was successful.
Yeah,
I feel
but
like-
it wasn't really like a genre that was considered
Respectful.
respectable,
I guess.
respectable, and successful overall. It was like, oh, why are you doing a comic book movie? Like, that's just a stupid thing, and it'll probably flop. And then like they took off. I'm sure that will happen with video games. It's a matter of time, but it
You
might
didn't
be
like
a matter
Doom?
of. But it might be.
You didn't like Doom? Do you think the problem
Or
is
Resident Evil.
I think what the problem is I think when people still think video games, I mean, people that don't play video games, when you say video game, they're like, oh, like you like shoot someone and this happens.
Yeah.
There's so many other genres that video games encompass. Like, adapt something else other than like a first-person shooter
Yeah.
or an action game. There's other video games that could, I mean, they're already so cinematic. Just make that a movie. Like,
Yeah.
show that it can be like a respected genre or like respected like.
And I think
Go ahead.
I think that the new Tomb Raider movie might be the first. Like,
Hopefully.
because it looks, from what I've seen so far, pretty damn good. It looks like an action movie and not like something just based on a video game.
Yeah.
We'll see. Not good.
Because I guess like with like Tomb Raider, I guess is a good series to do it with because like you can call it Tomb Raider and it doesn't have to follow a game because Lara Croft has so many different wacky adventures. Like you can't not like something like Halo or Gears of War where there's already a story
Yeah, it's just
that
one
runs
solid
throughout
story.
the whole series of the game. Like Tomb Raider, every game is like its own independent story.
Yeah, I'm surprised they're doing Tomb Raider again and not like just going for Uncharted. That seems odd to me.
I think there's an Uncharted movie in development hell as well.
Yeah, I think there is too.
Yeah, but I
Do
mean,
you think there's any chance in hell they're gonna call that movie Tomb Raider
Which one?
and not Lara Croft : Tomb Raider?
No, I think it's Tomb Raider. Pretty sure.
What about the Tomb Raider?
Maybe. I don't know.
The Tomb : Raider underscore
Croft.
Lara Croft.
hyphen M dash Tomb Raider.
So, I don't know. I have high hopes for that movie. I think it might be like one of the actually good video game movies.
Okay.
But we'll see.
One day. Is it my turn again?
It is.
Okay. So now that you guys have had a couple that I had like nothing to say about because I didn't know the source material, I'm going to talk about The Last Unicorn. Exactly. So The Last Unicorn, great book by Peter S. Beagle. Decent animated movie in the 80s. It suffered from, I think they didn't have the budget behind their animations. Like, you can see their character design and world design was really good, but it was like just the budget was not there. The quality was like, at times. And the voice acting was like, they were trying their best and they could not hit some of those notes in those songs. And it's like a beloved movie to me because it's a childhood one, but like objectively, there are some things wrong with that movie. And since I've been a kid, I've been hearing they're going to make another movie, they're going to make a live action one, they're going to do another animated one. And the company that owned the rights to the like first one owned the rights to the story. Were tying it up for a long time. Then it passed hands to a new company who was like, you know what, we just like love this and we want to make it made. And it was like, great. And they're like willing to work with Peter Beagle. And then he was like, okay, well, I'm going to do a tour of the country and, showing the first one and, meeting fans and everything. And they got halfway through that. And then he had some kind of health crisis. And I have not heard a peep about it since, and that was like a year and a half ago, I think.
That's super selfish of him.
Right? He was also
bastard.
supposed to come to Florida and stop doing it before that happened. So he really needs to think about how his actions affect other people. But it was like, it was really building up and like it was going to make that leap out of development hell when that was happening. Like, oh, a new company has it, and Peter Beagle's excited about it because he had also sort of like disavowed it and been like, oh, they say they're going to make this and they're going to make it over my dead body. That's probably a badly timed joke. But he was finally behind it, and it was so exciting. And then it just stopped existing as an idea again. And, like, no one's talking about it anymore.
So do you think that original movie will be the last?
Were you just sitting there thinking that the entire time I was talking?
The entire time you're talking.
I hate you
I
so
zoned
much.
out.
I hate you so much.
Did Kansas do the soundtrack for that movie?
Yes, they did.
Okay. That's all I know about it.
No. It was America.
Oh, America.
I'm sorry. It was
So
a
you know
different
nothing
band.
about it
Yeah,
now.
it was a
Kansas
different-
is in America, sorry.
It was a
counts.
different band named after
Maybe
a
it was
geographical
Europe.
area. No, it was America, and they were some great. It was a great soundtrack. The ones that America did not sing are like. They're like the Prince is like really like all of his songs are like in a super high register that he cannot sing. So I would really like to see a current quality and standards version of Last Unicorn made. But who knows if it'll ever happen.
Probably not.
What if Paul Dano played the like charming prince? Actually, he would make a really good Schmendrick.
That
And you don't
sounds-
have to know
Really racist.
I was gonna say you don't have to know anything about the character. I feel like you can get behind that. Paul Dano is
I'm
Schmendrick,
gonna-
the
Wait, don't
inept
tell me.
magician. Yes.
Damn it, I was going to guess
Oh.
what he was.
Sorry.
I'm going to guess
Erin,
character model wise, hat that's too big for him, cloak that's too big for him,
Yep.
red hair.
No, brown hair. Damn. He did have a very large nose, though.
Okay, that was my next one. I don't want to say it.
I'm just gonna wipe my hands of this just in case it is racist.
Is it me next?
We
Yes.
haven't mentioned a single race. How could it be racist?
Mike.
Listen, there's unicorns involved. I don't fucking know.
Hashtag yes all Schmendricks.
All right, I'll stop talking about the last unicorn.
Thank
What's
God.
your next? What's your next thing?
My
Kyle?
last one.
That was my last one. So
Yeah. So my last one, and I figured in the spirit of Halloween, another Friday the 13th film. I think it's... What's the face for? It would,
I'm like, can you really consider it development hell when there's been like 18 of them? And
Yes.
when did the last one come out?
I think 2009.
Oh,
It's now officially the longest gap between Friday the 13th films.
shock.
And
What, by 8 years?
about, yeah. I mean... No, I mean, Friday the 13th used to come out all the time. Instead, there's 12 other ones, if you're including Freddy vs. Jason as an entry.
Who doesn't?
Yeah. No, the new Friday the 13th, it was going to be the 13th film. They kept from like, all right, well, this upcoming Friday the 13th, it's out. Every October, that a Friday the 13th in it. They're like, that's our movie. That's where it's coming out. I think...
Maybe since they missed 2013, they're waiting until 2113.
Maybe.
Then it will really be the longest gap between Friday the 13th movies.
No, I'm surprised by it because the Friday the 13th remake that came out, it was the most profitable like February release. It did okay critically. I mean, I'm a huge Friday the 13th fan. I enjoyed it for the most part. I think it was very true to the roots of Friday the 13th. It got the things that needed to get right. It got right. And it's...
Jared Padalecki.
Oh, yeah. We were just talking about that. No, because I think I said the same year, get 1 or 2 years plus minus, they did a My Bloody Valentine remake with the Jensen Ackles. In it.
Yeah.
So they both failed they both had failed movie careers in the same year. Good for them.
Just
Good for
stick
them.
to
You were just saying
Supernatural,
like
guys.
how great it was as a Friday the 13th movie.
It was, but their box office careers failed because then they never went anywhere.
You failed.
Oh. No, like the rumors it was supposed to be like a winter, like a Friday the 13th set during the winter. So it would have been like,
On the 13th month?
Yeah.
Smarch?
can you stop making...
Simpsons jokes. And that was a Nightmare on Elm Street spoof, too. Not even Friday the 13th.
God damn it, Aaron. No, it was gonna be like Set in Snow. Like I think they had like teaser posters made up for it, that a script ready to go. I'm not really sure what happened with it. I think Platinum Dunes was a production company. I think Paramount. What the fuck are you laughing at?
I'm just replaying that episode of The Simpsons now, and it's too late, so I can't keep the giggles.
Goddamn hate you.
God damn it, Erin.
Just don't react. I'll tell you if I'm thinking of something funny that actually adds to the podcast.
Just talk. Just ignore her.
Yeah. I'm just shocked that Jason's such an iconic villain that we haven't gotten another movie. Like, and it wasn't even like it was that bad of a movie. I mean, the Nightmare on Elm Street movie, I get why they haven't made any more, because that fucking remake was the worst. That was the only time.
It was not the worst. It was terrible. It was not the worst.
Oh, it was fucking. That's the only movie in my entire life. I was walking into the theater, and a stranger stopped me. They were driving by. They rolled down to the window of their car and said, "What movie you seen?" I said, "Nightmare on Elm Street." And he said, "Well, don't." And he drove off.
Do you think it was you from the future?
Oh my god.
Serious question though. Did you buy it for your collection?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I do not own that movie. I owned the Nightmare on Elm Street like box set collection, and I'm actually not sure if it comes in there or not. It probably doesn't. But no, I would not buy that one for my collection. That movie is fucking horrible.
What if they made a sequel and you owned all the others and then the sequel and there was just a noticeable gap?
Wait, why did I own all the others and then the sequel to the remake?
Because what
'Cause
if
it
the
was
sequel
good.
was actually
Yeah.
good?
Yeah, I might then.
Yeah, right.
The OCD would kick in.
But no, I just don't get, like, Jason's so iconic, and I think really the most iconic out of, like, you know, the classic three, like Jason, Michael, Freddy.
Yeah.
I think he's most iconic.
Yeah.
And, like, Michael Myers keeps getting fucking movies. Like, they did the two Rob Zombie ones. There's a Danny McBride one coming out.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
It's him and Seth Gordon Green, I think. But, like, it's...
And I would call him the least iconic of the three. Like, who
Jason?
cares about
Or
No,
Michael
no,
Myers?
Michael Myers.
Yeah.
Yeah, like,
I
who
agree.
cares about him?
Like, I don't know.
I guess
it's,
people.
It's disappointing. There's so many things stuck in development hell. I have so many things written down that we're not even getting into. Lots of trilogies that were incomplete. Like Hellboy 3 I have written down.
Yeah.
They're making the new Hellboy with David Harbour, so I guess maybe that counts as getting out of development hell.
I
Like
don't know.
resurrecting as slightly something different.
It's a reboot. I wouldn't count it as saving from development hell.
Yeah. I have Bad Boys 3 written down.
Yeah.
That'll never happen because Martin Lawrence. I have Bill and Ted 3 written down. I followed Alex Winter specifically on Twitter to bug him about Bill and Ted 3. He has not gotten back to me.
Do you think he muted you?
I know you're listening, Alex Winter.
He's definitely not.
I know you're listening.
He's definitely not, and he probably muted
I mean,
you.
he's not making Bill and Ted 3. What else is he doing?
Do you think Bill and Ted 3 with like you know like the same cast? Sorry, I couldn't get that sentence out. Would be better or worse than Dumb and Dumber 2?
Better.
Yeah. Do you?
I watched Dumb and Dumber 2.
I remember you complained the entire time.
It was fucking...
I didn't even bother.
Yeah.
I didn't either, but I mean, why would you? It looked awful.
Yeah.
I feel like it's that same, like, oh, a comedy from the 90s, and, like, let's make a sequel, and, like, the same actors, except they're, like, 87 now.
Why do they feel the need to do a prequel for that? Dumb and Dumber?
Yeah. And why would a prequel be Dumb and Dumber?
Yeah.
Right?
Wouldn't
If anything,
it
that should
be
be the second
Dumb and
one.
Dumb.
It should be Dumb and
Dumb and
Dumb. Dumb and Dumber.
Or
Dumb
just
and Dumber.
and Dumb.
Dumb and Dumberists. Yeah. These movies got to get their shit together. That was the worst problem with the movie.
What would you call Bill and Ted 3?
Well, there's Most Excellent Adventure, Bogus Journey.
I feel like gnarly has to be the adjective, right?
Gnarly Ride.
Gnarly ride. I've had one of
Does
those.
it annoy you that there are 3 Dumb and Dumber movies and only one, like, Dread movie?
Yes.
Every day.
I've never thought about it like that before.
You're welcome.
But that's appropriately the thought that will haunt me for the rest of my life.
And on that note,
All right. We're going to do a special Halloween edition of Stopwatch.
yes.
I'm cheating a bit. It's only the second entry in the series, and I've already broken the rules.
Kyle.
The movie's called Abattoir. It was made in 2016.
Never heard of it.
Nope.
Good reason.
I'm sure.
I believe it was one of the Saw guys that did it. Darren Lynn Bousman, however the fuck you say his name.
Okay.
He did Saw 2, 3, and 4. So he's really good.
That's a solid career behind him.
Abattoir is frustrating. It has a good premise.
Okay.
It is this woman, and I think her sister dies. Okay, if you watch
Really
this
solid
movie,
premise.
You would have no idea. All right.
Okay.
So this woman's sister, she's investigating a murder, goes to the house where the murder occurred, and the room is missing. The room's not there. It's been like completely just excised from the house. And
I remember
she
this.
finds out there's this old man, and he's building a house out of murder rooms, essentially. Because he's trying to make like the most haunted house.
Sure. As one does.
And it's a solid like horror movie premise. It is.
So was he just kidnapping rooms from houses? Be like, oh, somebody died in here.
He's
better
like
take
removing
it.
them. It makes no sense, and they try to explain it in the movie, and it just gets so much worse. I finished physically watching the movie.
At what point did you mentally stop watching the movie? At what point did your spirit
20
leave your body?
20 minutes in.
Okay.
I don't
Farther or not as far as Green Lantern?
just about as far.
Okay.
I know. I'm now noticing the theme.
That's the point at which you know whether a movie
Avatar,
really needs to be abandoned.
I don't know if I could tell you a single detail about the movie.
Okay.
I have amnesia just for this one thing, I feel. I couldn't tell you a character's name. I couldn't tell you a plot point. I could tell you imagery. It's like if you were in a car accident and you were drunk and like you woke up in the, like, you know, you're in a car, everything goes black and you wake up and you're like, I remember spinning. I remember bright lights. I remember hands pulling me from the water.
I was gonna say it's like the dreams you have that like after you're drunk and you wake up and you're like, was there like one of my coworkers had superpowers, but also like I was them, and like then we went to get pizza.
What are you dreaming of?
I had a really good dream last night that I'm not going to say while we're recording. It made
Probably
no fucking
for the
sense.
best.
Was it that one?
No,
Okay.
it was not as good as that one.
Yeah, that one's good.
Cut all that out, please.
All right. Nope.
Leave it in.
Please cut it out.
But I now remember like Lin Shaye was in it. She's the woman from the Insidious films.
Which, like the wife?
No, that's Vera Farmiga, I believe.
The
Is she
old
the-
woman?
The old woman.
Oh, I was
who,
going to say,
like,
is she the one that looks like
kills,
Darth Maul?
What's his face at the end?
Yeah. No, she's an Abattoir, and she gives like a completely deranged performance. And I feel like there's a scene in the film where she's trying to show them like the origins of this evil town.
This is exactly like remembering a dream to me.
It is. And this should have been a get the fuck out segment. Just me like stream of conscious making the plot of this movie. And it has like they didn't want to do a flashback, so she shows the main character as a film that she just happened to take of an event that happened that no one in their right minds would have filmed. Filmed with the cameras that they were filmed with the movie. So it's a home video that looks like a professionally made film with edits.
Sure.
And everything. It's the worst goddamn movie. I feel like it's a bad dream that I'm only slightly remembering. And it has like the weird old guy from Sons of Anarchy that had cancer for like 9 seasons.
Such a dream. It's like, oh yeah, and then this guy was here. I think I went to high school with him. And
Yeah, are you sure you're not actually dreaming this movie?
yeah, this
No.
film did not really exist. I remember talking to you about it when it came out, though. Actually, I remember the premise of like stealing the rooms, and I was like, that doesn't make any sense. They were like, no, they explain it. It didn't make sense.
Not at all. So,
On that rambling note,
everyone, thanks for listening. Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween!
Bye.
night.
Bye.
Hey everyone, if you enjoy listening to the Sleepy Nerds podcast and want to hear more from us, you can always follow us on Facebook at Sleepy Nerds Podcast, on Instagram and Twitter at Sleepy Nerd Pod, and you can also subscribe to us on YouTube, Podbean, and iTunes.